Another rejection email hits and your heart just drops. Later on down the line, you are scrolling down through Instagram or TikTok and you find out the actor who booked it. And it could be someone you knew and it could be someone that you don't know. And here we go, that cycle of feeling awful and spiraling and bad thoughts all about yourself start all over again. You are replaying every single moment from that audition. Was it the lines? Is it how I said it? Is it how I showed up? Is it my hair? Is it my look? Honestly, is it me? What if I told you that the reason you didn't book had nothing to do with your talent, but with the emotional traps that you're falling into right now? In this video, I'm gonna break it down for you and I'm gonna break down these traps. But most importantly, I'm gonna show you how to turn that soul-crushing, career-questioning rejection into a strength. Hi honeys, I'm Anastasia Piero. I'm a Toronto-based actor, content creator, and a social media producer. If you are new, please subscribe. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome. Welcome to a fun video. Let's talk about the sting of no. Let's be real for a second. Getting a no is tough and getting rejected is really, really hard. We are wired as humans to want and crave emotional connection and approval all the time. And being as artists, you are fully vulnerable 24/7 all the time, putting yourself out there without any stops. You put your face, your voice, your heart, your blood, sweat, and tears, all of it out there constantly, which makes the vulnerability even 10 times more. So when you get that no, it just really stings. Like I kid you not, you just want to like rip your heart out and it sucks. And especially when you're in an industry where you get more no's than you get yeses. I remember this few years back before the union strike. I was auditioning for so many Hallmark projects. I kid you not, I was probably getting 3 auditions a week for Hallmark projects. And it was one after the other, after the other, after the other. And what was interesting is that one of the projects I had, I was literally auditioning for one of the same movies, but multiple different roles. And I just kept feeling, I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm getting closer, getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. And I never ended up booking any of them. I had callbacks for some of them and then I never made it past that. That was so hard for me because I'm like, you could just taste it. You can feel it. It's literally like, it's right there. Like just the way I'm looking in this camera, it's right there, but it never came to me. And yeah, it just destroyed me. At that point, my inner monologue was really bad and it really started to kick in with all of this. And I started to think, honestly, like, am I too old? I honestly started questioning my weight. I was like, am I too fat? Like, is it my tummy? Is it my belly? Like, I don't have the abs. I don't have toned arms. Like what is it? Honestly, like I was truly willing to drop and change anything just so I can book these roles. It was crazy. So this first trap is called personalization. This is when you believe that no is personalized towards you, your body, your type, your talent, and you make it all about who you are as a person and about your talent, and that's all there is. You just completely personalize it to yourself. You start thinking that if maybe you were a little bit better, a little bit more prepared, maybe just a little bit different, that you probably would have booked that audition. Well, we're gonna talk about this for a second. This leads into the second trap, which is comparison. And my God, do we ever compare ourselves to other actors and other individuals all the time, 24/7. And I honestly, it doesn't even have anything to do with acting. We just compare ourselves all the time. We live in digital media. We live in a massive digital world where you see someone on TikTok look like X, Y, and Z, and you automatically will go and compare yourself to that person, X, Y, Z, on this TikTok page. You see someone else's success and what you immediately do is use that against yourself and you think that that is your failure. You use their success as a comparison that you are not doing well, and because their success is this is why it's not happening for you, and now in order you are now a failed actor. What you're doing is you're basically falling into a trap thinking that the only way you can succeed is by doing their path, and by having how they have succeeded is the only way that you're actually going to get through in being an actor. The inner critique can get really loud. You start being like, I'm never gonna book, my career is over, I have not had many auditions as them, I have not as many bookings as them, I'm not even close to anywhere near where they are in their career. You have to remember that every single person, every artist has their own career and their own way of making it in this industry. Your path is not their path, and their path is not your path. every no that you get, yes, becomes, you start to becoming more of a comparison because you think the no is the final verdict of your career. Please remember, honeys, that this industry is built on no's. Every actor is going to get 100 times more no's than they are going to get yeses. This industry runs on saying no to people before they say a yes. And let's also remember that 80% of your job as an actor is to do auditions. So you have to do 80% of the job, which requires you to get a no in order to be an actor in this industry. The actors who make it are never the ones who got rejected. They are the ones who learned how to handle that rejection. So let's talk about how we can do that. Let's talk about the solutions. Turning rejection into your superpower. Once you start understanding these traps and why is happening and what is going on, we're gonna start now giving each other a solution to understand how we can bring ourselves back into a really great mental state and get ourselves grounded and back on track with the industry. The first solution I wanna talk about is that it is a puzzle, it is not a competition. And I know people are gonna be like, yeah, but you are competing. Guys, you have to see it as a puzzle and not a competition. I will tell you really quickly the story that happened to me. And it truly, when this happened, my eyes and my world, I was like, oh, okay, I understand it all. I get it. There's a showcase here in Toronto. It's called Artist Showcase. And it's not just in Toronto. They have one in Vancouver. They have one in Montreal. I think they have one in Ottawa now too. So it's kind of a worldwide, no, sorry, not worldwide, Canadian-wide thing. And basically what you do is you submit a self-tape. I think it has to be like no more than 2 minutes. And then there's a panel of judges that watch you. You pay it. I think it's $60, could be more now. And these judges will literally critique you on your entire scene that you do. This was a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago, I did one of the showcases and I submitted a self-tape scene from the movie Easy A, specifically the part where her, Brandon, I think that was his name, Brandon, the gay friend, he doesn't want anyone to know that he's gay, so he basically asks Olive if they could, like, I think he asks to have sex with her or to be his girlfriend or something like that. Anyways, he basically asks her to like be with him. And so she's like, no, that's not gonna happen. I love that movie. I love Emma Stone as an actress. I really feel connected to her and I've always really enjoyed her work. And the movie itself, I feel is something that I could be casted in. It's my type of casting. So I do the scene and I work on it. I, do my best that I believe is my best and I submit it. And I ended up getting my 2 judges to give me the critique. The first one comes in and this guy completely was like raving about this. He was like, I'm obsessed. I love this. This is so good. Like, I literally would cast you if I was doing this movie. Like, you are perfect for this character. You have that funny, weird quirkiness. Like, you're just strange. Like, I'm obsessed with it. And I was like, oh, wow, great. This amazing. This makes me feel really good. Within like 5 minutes after that, the second judge's critiques come in. And this lady completely, like, when I mean destroyed me, she like went for the jugular in this critique. She straight up was like, no, there's no inner monologue. There's no character analysis. There is no like breathing. Like, this is all pushing. You're schmacting, not acting, like wrong casting, this and that. And I immediately took it as, oh my God, it's a me. I suck. I'm the problem. She's right. I'm not an actor. I'm horrible. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm awful. I'm this, I'm that. But then I'm sitting there being like, but this is so weird. I literally just did the exact same scene with another guy and he completely had the opposite to say about my scene. I sat there and I swear to God, I've never had this feeling. It's like something just like, it's like literally the light bulb moment. It like went aha in my chest, in my heart. And I was like, so I did the same scene, literally the same scene for 2 different casting directors. One of them would have booked me right on the spot probably. And the other one would be like, I never want to see you in my room again because I don't think you're an actor. Are either of them wrong? No. Either of them right? Also, no. Am I wrong for what I did? No, I chose the character the way I saw it and the way I did it, and this is how I imagined it, and this is how it ended up coming out. And so I sat there and I was like, so this is why it's not a competition, it's a puzzle. Because for this guy, I was the missing puzzle piece of what he was looking for, but for this lady, it was a straight up no. I was not the missing puzzle piece that she needed if she was truly casting this movie. You will walk into auditions and sometimes, or do a self-tape or do a Zoom audition, whatever. And it can happen that I don't know, your hair matches too much to the lead character's hair, and that's why they're not gonna book you. And there's nothing wrong with what you can do with the hair. Or maybe you're too tall and the lead character is quite short, and it's just gonna look weird proportionally. Or you truly could look too much like other characters. Or you have a look that's just like not matching the look that they're going. Or maybe they change the gender and ethnicity of the characters, and all of a sudden it's not going to be a female redhead. It's now going to be a male blonde. I don't know, like they decided to make it something else. Like it could be so many million reasons of why you didn't get it, but you can't walk in there always thinking that it's a competition. This is not a reflection of your talent. Your job isn't to win the audition, it's just to do your best at the audition. Your job is to show up, do the work, do your best work, leave, let it go, and just hope to see if you were the missing puzzle piece that they were looking for. The second solution is you have to learn to separate your identity from the outcome. This one is huge, honey. You have to understand that every no you can't have it feel like a personal attack on your worth as a human. If you allow that, you are going to burn out so fast, and you will burn out your mental health very, very quickly. For the sake of your mental health and your career, you have to learn how to build your sense of self-worth and not have it tied to your professional career and your professional success. You are not your last audition. You are not your last callback. None of this shapes you who you are as a person and as a human being in general. Your worth, and I'm gonna say this many times, your worth is not measured in callbacks, in auditions, and in bookings, and in whether you have an agent or not have an agent. I will say this and scream at the top of my lungs. I have not booked in a very long time. So does that make me all of a sudden not an actor? Does that make me not value enough to give out information to you, honeys, and talk about rejection and the tough time of being in this industry? No. Just because I did not book something does not now all of a sudden make me less of an actor and not valid enough to tell my story and to give people some help and advice on my channel. Take a second and think about, why did you start acting? Truly, like write this down, grab pen and paper, your phone, whatever. Why did you start doing acting? Was it to tell stories? Was it to feel a character? Was it to do something super creative and fun? Was it to connect with people? Because that why is what got you in there, and you need to connect back to that and find that within yourself of why you started doing this. A really powerful way to find your why is to have a life outside of acting. Seriously, I'm not kidding. This is so important. You have to have a life outside of acting. You cannot make acting your entire world. You have to separate it from your identity. I used to live, breathe, like everything had to be and do about acting. I remember when I started my channel, I was like, well, if I don't book and become a big successful actor, why would I talk about acting? Who's gonna listen to me? Well, look at me now. I'm hitting my 1,000 subscribers. I'm starting a podcast very soon. I got a job as a social media producer for a massive lifestyle TV show here in Toronto. Like, life is really shaping to be different for me than what I expected it to be. And does that diminish my path because I'm a social media producer working on a production? No, in fact, I'm learning so much being on set every single day and being on a live show every single day that I'm like, oh my God, there's so much more for me to learn that I didn't even realize I needed to learn until I started working at my job. When you make acting your entire world, you are essentially bringing everything to it. It's the same thing when they say, when you have a really bad work day, let's say you're at a serving job. I used to bring my problems that I had in my serving job into my own life and into my relationship, into my apartment. And it caused a lot of issues for my man and I, because he'd be like, oh my God, all we do is talk about your work and how negative it is and how tough it is, because I didn't leave the drama of my serving job in the restaurant. I brought it home. Now listen, it's okay to come home and want to talk about it and be like, I need to vent out. That's fine. But my venting out became an obsession. I just couldn't stop. I was like being fed by this monster that I just kept wanting to like go. And then I never got out of that drama. And quite frankly, I was in a lot of the drama at work all the time because I could not take myself out. Funny enough, now that I've left my serving industry, I realized how much like it negatively impacted me, because I made my whole conversation in life always about the serving, which is the same thing if you make your whole life about the acting. Find friends and community that don't act. See other things, do other things. Take a little switch to the left in your career if you need to, or a little switch to the right. You never know where it can lead you back. Me being a social media producer is so interestingly helping me right now that I never knew in a million years how much doing the job that I do right now is actually helping me and my agent and my acting career by being in that circle. Doing this does not mean that you're gonna care less about acting. You're not all of a sudden giving up for your love of acting or giving up on your career. What you're doing is creating a resilience that you need in order to stay in the game for the long haul. The last thing I wanna talk about is reframing that rejection into a redirection. Instead of seeing rejection as a dead end, try to see it as a chance to learn something new. Every no you get is a yes for something else. Think of it as not as a roadblock, but as a detour. And you seeing it this way and learning from it will help you so much. Please trust me, because it really changed the game for me. Obviously, allow yourself to have the initial sting of disappointment of the audition. 100%. Cry it out, yell it out, go punch a pillow, run it off, call your mom, whatever. Do whatever you gotta do. I get it. I have to have that moment. But what I try to do now is, instead of taking that moment and like sulking it and blaming myself, what I do is I'm not looking at the result, but focusing on what I did and didn't do in the audition. For example, was I prepared? Did I enjoy what I did? Did I learn the lines? So there's things that I could learn of. And yes, there was times where there was an audition that I watched back after the next day after I've calmed down, and I'm like, you know what? That actually was like not necessarily my best work, because I was tired, I was trying to push it, I just wanted to get the audition over with, I wasn't really thinking about it. So what I learned for next time is, maybe you shouldn't do an audition after a 12-hour serving shift. Maybe you should do it the next morning. Why don't you go to bed earlier and then wake up in the morning and do it at 6 a.m. instead, rather than doing it at the end of your shift? Like the little things like that that made me see it a little bit differently, that I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense. There's been times where I should have asked Jeff to help me, my mentor, my coach, for coaching, but I didn't. I felt like I can do it. And then when I started doing it, I was like, no, I really should have asked him. So that was a lesson that I learned as well, to be like, look, if you feel that this is something you need help with, don't get your ego and your pride up. Ask for help. Get a coach to help you coach with it and look through the audition with you. Something super important is ask for feedback. This is so huge. This is how you are going to learn and understand how it works. Call your agent and be like, what did you think of that self-tape? Please, I want to get feedback and understand how I'm doing. Because if you're not going to get feedback, you're not going to know what to do, where to, how, what, like you're not going to understand how the game works and what you should improve on. You could even ask your agent to get feedback from casting directors as well. This is possible. Now, something to note, you may not always get that feedback from casting directors, but it is possible. Sometimes casting directors will give it to you, and that is amazing, because you get to hear from the people themselves who are trying to book these auditions and get you in the room, and you can understand, like, I don't know, maybe they're like, you know what, you move around in your self-tape a lot, it's hard to watch it because you're like all over the place. I don't know, like I'm just kind of pulling stuff out. But then that could be something where you're like, okay, I wonder, why am I moving? If you're in class, it's something you can bring to your class to be like, I was given the feedback that I have a hard time standing still. I'm moving around a lot in the audition, and it becomes a distraction, and it seems like I'm not really in it. And when you start working through it, it could be because this is your like way to hide. This is for, you don't want to be vulnerable, so instead you start moving around, but you want to stand still, because that's when like the heart opens up, the breath opens up, and everything just sinks in, and you just start flourishing. Like, you know what I mean? It really could be anything. I'm just trying to give you an example to understand that the feedback can really sometimes go a very long way in what you need. You are no longer a victim in this industry. You are a student of your craft, and you are learning everything in this industry and making it a beautiful experience. Do not allow the no's to get to you. Do not allow the no's to completely dictate who you are as an actor and as an artist. Many actors, even the successful ones, have had a very tough time. They may not talk about it as much, but it is there. We've heard it, we've seen it, everybody goes through it. I can bet you, if you talk to somebody in your class and they told you how things truly are, they would tell you that they are also struggling just like you. It's a very, very insane industry, and those no's will come at you many, many times. Honeys, we have talked about so much. There has been so much talked about here in this journey and how we deal with the rejection and move forward. I want to hear some of your emotional traps. What are some things that you have gone through and that you feel that you get into a little bit of a weird trap when it comes to rejection? And what are the things that you do to help yourself to get out of it? I wasn't able to say all of them in this video, so I'd love to hear from you. Comment down below. Let's continue building that community of honeys and of actors here on this channel. So the real reason you didn't book that role, well, had nothing to do with you. In fact, it absolutely had nothing to do with your talent, your look, who you are, your gender, your ethnicity, your hair, your weight, none of it at all. It just so happens that you were not the puzzle that they were looking for, and that is okay. Please remember that rejection isn't the opposite of success. It is actually what builds you as an actor and makes you stronger and builds your story. So do not stop. Do not let it get to you. Just take a breathe and keep going, because you deserve to be in this industry and there is a place for you in this industry. I love you, honeys. I'm gonna see you all next Friday for another fun video. Bye.